Listen to me closely, because what is happening in Philadelphia right now is nothing short of a masterclass in roster construction. We are not just talking about next season. We are talking about a dynasty mentality that is being cemented as we speak. While the rest of the NFL is panicking about the salary cap, the Eagles are locking down the most physical players in the game. Jay Brown, that is going to make your blood boil. The Patriots tried to test Howie Roseman, and they found out exactly who runs this league. Stay locked in.
Let's get right into the facts, because this is the news that stabilizes the entire franchise. Insider sources have confirmed, and the man himself has verified on social media as of this weekend, February 28th, that guard Landon Dickerson is fully committed to playing the 2026 season. This puts to bed any ridiculous rumors about early retirement or contract disputes. This comes directly on the heels of Lane Johnson confirming his return, which means the Philadelphia Eagles are keeping the band together where it matters most, in the trenches. Now let me tell you why this is absolutely critical. When you look at the landscape of the National Football League, teams are desperate for offensive line continuity. They are begging for it. And here you have the Eagles seamlessly securing a Pro Bowl caliber guard who is the heartbeat of that interior line. Landon Dickerson is not just a body. He is a road grader. He is the guy who makes the brotherly shove possible. You think you can stop Jalen Hurts on 4th and 1 without Landon Dickerson paving the way? You must be out of your mind. This is about physicality. This is about imposing your will on an opponent for 60 minutes. When Landon Dickerson steps onto that field, he brings a level of violence and intelligence that you simply cannot replace in the draft. You cannot just go to the store and buy a Landon Dickerson. This commitment ensures that the Eagles' identity remains intact. We saw what happened when this line had questions. We saw the hesitation. But with Dickerson locking in for 2026, alongside Lane Johnson, Howie Roseman has effectively built a fortress around the quarterback position for the foreseeable future. This is the definition of stability. While other teams are scrambling to find guys who can just block, the Eagles are retaining all pros who dominate. It sends a message to the locker room. It tells every player on that roster that the window is wide open. We are not rebuilding, we are reloading, and we are retaining. Dickerson's announcement is a catalyst. It calms the waters. It allows the front office to focus on luxury picks rather than desperate needs. But here is the thing about the offensive line. You cannot play forever. Even with Dickerson and Johnson back, you have to look at the clock. Father Time is undefeated. And that brings me to a thought that should terrify the rest of the NFC East. If the current line is this good, what happens when Howie Roseman decides to make it even bigger? What happens when he looks at the future and decides that good isn't enough, and he wants to draft a literal giant to ensure this dominance lasts for another decade? You need to hear what is happening at the Combine right now.
If you want to stay ahead of the curve and get these exclusive insiders before anyone else, you need to subscribe to the channel right now. Don't just watch, join the movement. Hit that button and let's keep building this community.
We take you now to Indianapolis, to the NFL Scouting Combine, where things are getting very interesting for the Philadelphia Eagles. On Saturday, February 28th, offensive line prospect Caden Proctor from Alabama revealed something that should have every Eagles fan salivating. He stated that the Eagles have shown, and I quote, very much interest in him during the interview process. Now, let's look at the tail of the tape. We are talking about a human being who is over 350 pounds. Some reports have him north of 160 kilograms. He is a massive, immovable object. The insider buzz here is undeniable. The Eagles view Proctor as the potential heir apparent to Lane Johnson. This is classic Howie Roseman strategy. This is the Jeff Stoutland effect. You do not draft offensive linemen when you need them. You draft them when you can develop them. Imagine a scenario where you take a talent like Proctor, a guy with rare size and power, and you put him in a room with Lane Johnson, Jordan Mailata, and Landon Dickerson. You let him sit in a classroom with Jeff Stoutland for a year or two. That is simply unfair to the rest of the league. This kid is a mauler. He fits the profile of what Philadelphia loves: big, athletic, and nasty. The fact that the Eagles are spending significant time with him tells me they are plotting something big. They know Lane Johnson is coming back for now, but they are already preparing for the day he hangs up the cleats. That is how you sustain success. You don't wait for the roof to leak before you fix it. You build a new roof over the old one. Proctor represents the future of the right tackle position. His size alone makes him a first-round talent, but his agility for that weight is what has scouts raving. If the Eagles pull the trigger on this, they are effectively telling the NFL that they will never, ever be small up front again. We are talking about a line that could average 340 pounds across the board. That is not a football team. That is a demolition crew. But while we are talking about bringing in new talent, there is a storm brewing regarding the talent we already have. You build the line to protect the skill players, but what happens when another team tries to come in and steal your best weapon?
This is the story that is going to set the internet on fire today. A.J. Brown. Yes, you heard me correctly. They wanted our superstar wide receiver. But here is where it gets good. The Patriots reportedly considered Howie Roseman's asking price to be unserious. Let me break down what that price was. Roseman reportedly asked for a first-round pick plus another premium asset. And New England thought that was a joke? Are you kidding me? Let me tell you what is unserious. What is unserious is thinking you can get a top 5 wide receiver in the National Football League for anything less than a king's ransom. A.J. Brown is insulting. This man changes the geometry of the field. He is physically dominant. He is a game wrecker. And you think Howie Roseman is just going to give him away because you asked nicely? Absolutely not. The insider context here is crucial. A trade before June is almost impossible because of the dead cap hit. It would be a financial disaster for the Eagles. Roseman knows this. So when he gave them that high price, he was effectively telling them to get lost without hanging up the phone. He kept the line open because that is his job, but he set the bar so high that New England had to retreat. This shows me that the Eagles value Brown as a cornerstone piece, regardless of whatever noise was out there last season. You do not trade a player of this caliber unless you are blown away. A first-round pick and a premium player, that is the starting point. That is the floor, not the ceiling. The Patriots calling the price unserious just shows they don't understand the market. They are living in the past. If you want a Ferrari, you have to pay for a Ferrari. A.J. Brown, this was a power move by Roseman. He defended his asset, he established the value, and he sent a message to the rest of the league. If you want our stars, you better be ready to mortgage your entire future. But this leaves us with a lingering question. If teams are calling, does that mean they smell blood in the water?
So there you have it. We have the offensive line securing its legacy with Dickerson and potentially adding a monster in Proctor, J. Brown. This team is standing its ground. They are building for the long haul while protecting the present. But I have to ask you, the fans, J. Brown, or should he hang up immediately? And how do you feel about drafting another lineman in the first round when we have other needs? Let me know in the comments. This is a pivotal offseason. Stay with us because the news is only going to get hotter. Fly, Eagles, fly.